Right, let's end this week with a disaster. This is Powder Puff Patch and their Acts of Vegans tie-in, issue 53. We have a far better cover than it deserves from Beth Belieber, the kids and Thyroid Mary. This is a newsstand edition. It has the barcode in the UPC box. I cannot believe they were still releasing this series to newsstands at this point. But I also cannot believe they were still releasing this series at this point. So right here is our credits, our creative team, the people responsible for this issue. And we have an image of the lead characters, Powder Puff Patch. They are all definitely children. You might remember a few months ago, I reviewed an issue of Coke and Pepsi, and it was ghastly. It was unparalleled in its extreme low quality. We have the same inker-turned-writer here, and this one has all the same problems, but more. Thyroid Mary, a great Dairy Devil villainess, has been sent by Mr. Doom to destroy Powder Puff Patch as part of Acts of Vegans. We have a cameo appearance of Coke from Coke and Pepsi. We have all the same ludicrous exposition as present in that issue of Coke and Pepsi. I may not be able to see the sun anymore, but see current issues of Coke and Pepsi for more on Coke's blindness. Thyroid Mary ingratiates herself with the Powder Puff Patch kids. She is in a Mary persona, where she is nice and sweet. They actually skip over that part, her befriending and integrating herself into their lives. We replace all that with exposition telling us that it happened. She is going to infiltrate the Powder Puff Patch family and turn them all against each other. And again, just like that issue of Coke and Pepsi, there is a good idea in there somewhere. On the surface, this is a very good Acts of Vegans issue. We have a great villain, we have a good implementation of them and their MO with that one aspect of the plot. We have a good cover. Then we get someone who's not really a writer to write it. Before we go further, Powder Puff Patch are kids. Can we all agree on that? In story, sure, we might say one of them is 16 or whatever, but they are kids. We know them as kids. They were introduced to us as kids. I don't care if one of them is technically 16. He is still a kid. He is a character that was introduced to us and was treated for years as young. Him becoming 16 was never a big deal that everyone knows or everyone read. There wasn't this big definitive story where he turned 16. He just happens to be 16, maybe, in this issue. Him being 16, I am assuming that. The issue never establishes that. I am hoping he is 16, because then maybe what we have is immoral and wrong instead of an actual crime. So the problem for me, and I would hope the problem for you, is that Thyroid Mary's main scheme is seducing a child. I don't care what the age of consent is in New York. I don't know what it is in New York. Anyone who knows what the age of consent is in different places is a guaranteed creep. This is a character where he is still too young. It is too obviously a character that has been defined by being a child. 16 is still too young, even if it is one of those states with a low age of consent. A low age of consent isn't a license to shag kids. At this point, she's just grooming and manipulating. That's still bad, mind you. But I was thinking that if it doesn't go beyond this, at least you could kind of ignore the writing. It doesn't become overtly sexual or romantic from this one scene of her lying to him and him fancying her. Some fucking abysmal split personality shit in here too. It's very easy to overlook how embarrassing writing like her holding a knife to her face while arguing with herself is when it comes after grooming. We will eventually come to these Mr. Doom bits. Oh god, I'm so concerned with the main contentious plot beat that I didn't even reckon with the fact we have two of my most hated tropes in bad writing here. It is a flashback. The whole story is her recounting it to Mr. Doom. And it's also like a therapy session. To see an intelligently written and empowered female villain like Thyroid Mary sink to this unskillful and inept level of writing is heartbreaking. Now, here is where it gets more blatantly romantic. They hold hands. They go for walks in the park together. They go to the movies together. They also make reference straight after to him having to do a report for school. They outright call him a kid earlier. Him being 16, as I said, I am assuming that. And it's still too young. This only works if it's a story about him fancying her, a kid fancying a woman, and her using that to her advantage to trick him or mislead him. Not her actually going as far to fucking go on dates with a child. In fact, here is our better and less icky version of the story. You have her flirt with the dad instead, so the son gets jealous because the son fancies her, but his dad is getting all the attention. Also, the dad is Simon Waltonson. Powder Puff Patch, they were created by Lewis Simon, and so their dad is her husband, Simon Waltonson. Their mum might be her. It's harder to really say. Both the mum and Lewis Simon are nowhere near as visually identifiable as Simon Waltonson. And yeah, we do have that basic idea play out with the dad. She forces herself on the dad in view of him to make him jealous. But you've already had them go on weird, creepy dates. Just him and her. Here she refers to Powder Puff Patch as prey, which is about right because she is being a predator. The silver lining, the only solace we can take, is that she did not rape a minor. There is no statutory rape of a minor in this issue. There is grooming, there's inappropriateness. There's still, quite frankly, a repugnant plot about trying to get a kid to want to fuck her. But she is an attractive woman, so any court of law would only give her a slap on the wrist and let her go back to teaching the blind and disabled kids. With her plot exposed and Thyroid Mary now revealed, the kids engage in fruitless combat with her. Just one time I would like to see someone have fruitful combat, like the hero throws an apple or a pear at their villain. Having focused so much on the moral shiteness of the plot, it's worth repeating that the rest of the comic and all the writing is beyond amateur. Really, go and read the ad Thyroid Mary stories. They will make you hate this even more. She has never really been done justice since her creator, and nonsense, stopped writing her. But to see her handled this badly in this way, it is the worst. Right, so the kids beat her. Obviously, they beat her. And let's get to, no doubt, what many people took issue with instead of the grooming. A legitimately appallingly written Mr. Doom. He has fallen completely for Thyroid Mary's mind games. And he opens up to her about his father and his past. And even Mr. Doom is but a plaything to Thyroid Mary, the predator. She only did all of this, the whole dating a kid thing, everything in this issue. She only did it to toy with Mr. Doom and make him into putty in her hands so that she can learn what his weaknesses are, so that she could one day exploit them. You know what? I think morally and ethically I have to do this, but it should be also made clear that the comic would be painful even without the pedo stuff. I imagine in another world there's maybe a comic, a really brilliant comic, a masterpiece, like one of the best comics ever. And maybe one of the awkward things about it is that this excellent comic exists. And there's maybe a plot or a subplot that, at its core, is a woman preying on a young man. The story, though, the writing, the art, everything about that comic is actually fundamentally perfect. And even that stuff, that is written from the perspective that it is wrong and that it is bad. It's written cleverly, with thought. But it still feels uncomfortable to a lot of people that this brilliant comic as that plot. This is like that, except it is just the one part of that hypothetical comic that makes you feel bad. You have what would rank as one of the worst written comics, and then you also have a plot that is, I will say, clueless. I don't think any of the creepiness or unsettling stuff was intentional. It wasn't sinister. I don't think it is a look into the mind of a depraved pervert. I think it is someone completely clueless, as their writing of everything else in the issue shows. The real concern is that someone could read this comic and come away with the wrong idea that it is okay to groom a young boy. So I give it 7 thumbs up.